I was gonna say.
So our bandwidth just spiked back up. Anyway, I will let it do whatever it does, and I will not be concerned too much about the stream. And there we go. Okay, so setting the stage for last time. Some of you may recall that we had that map that you were able to look at.
Yeah.
You all were in a tunnel going up from Orivan to the surface, basically, that is sort of magically enshrouded and obscured. In the tunnel, you were fighting Spolash. You did a lot of damage to him. He was in just terrible shape, some of which you could tell and some of which you couldn't because he was paralyzed, and so he was not writhing around or anything, but he had, big rips in his flesh from a lion attack from Belvari. Before he ended up...
His arm was really hot.
What's that?
His arm was really hot.
His arm was very hot from... he has a magical prosthetic arm made of iron. Looks like iron, some kind of metal. And Diamondback had used the heat metal spell on it, causing him sustained and ongoing damage every turn by turn. So stopping to do that to this villain that they found had some consequences for our heroes here. The main one being that while Toll, Neno, and Talid ran out of the tunnel and were able to escape from imminent danger, just before Spolash was paralyzed, he shouted, "Get in here!" really loudly in the cave kind of tunnel that he's in, which echoed through to both sides, so it echoed out the cave and down into Orivan. And so the people who answer to Spolash obeyed and started getting in there. Some of the Iron Bell, those of you in the cave don't know this, so don't let your characters know this, but some of the Iron Bell up top, those of you outside the cave have seen this, and Yoshka, who is in the guise of Spolash, saw this up close, though he may not have known exactly what was happening, but maybe he figured it out. The guys outside the cave, the Iron Bell outside the cave, who had not taken their turn yet, are handling these wild beasts. And they sent them into the cave to attack, to help Spolash, because that was what was said. Their turns had not come yet. Jared emerged from the cave, called everybody back out of the cave, and so on those people's turns, they thought he was Spolash ordering that, so they pulled the animals back out. Belvari has now escaped from... He used his very fast lion motion.
It wasn't that fast.
Pretty fast lion movement to emerge from the cave. However, as he did, Spolash had instructed the Iron Bell... Spolash Prime had instructed the Iron Bell, wait here and get the Orivan as they emerge. And as they were waiting, bats at the ready, as it were, weapons at the ready. And as Belvari emerged, they struck. The magical form of lion containing him erupted and outpoured a flow of molten Belvari onto the ground.
Hey, I wasn't molten. I was solid.
Took a spill. And he tumbled into the ground and ran. However, having run, the Girolon that was pursuing him, the four-armed gorilla with a massive biting action, seeing no other enemies except for Belvari standing near Spolash Prime, ran up and battered Belvari. Okay, so that's our setting right now. There's a big fog inside the cave. There are a couple of wolf spiders, giant wolf spiders inside the cave. Inkatink is flying in that fog, trying to emerge. Diamondback is in that fog, trying to emerge, I suppose, trying to emerge. They have been moving that direction. There is a crowd of rabble behind them, of Orivan guards and townfolk, pitchforks at the ready. They are probably a bit hindered by the 10-foot wall that these guys managed to get over, Inkatink managed to fly over. They are now probably hindered by that. And then finally, outside, Neno is hiding, Talad is hiding, and Toll has turned around and is attempting to help his compatriots. If I remember correctly, and Toll, Patrick, remind me if tell me if I'm wrong. Toll does not know that Yoshka is in the guise of Spolash. He sees what he believes to be Spolash standing or giving martial commands to the Iron Bell.
Telling him to hit Belvari.
And it looks as though he's telling him to hit Belvari, and Belvari is now being pummeled. So, Toll is in that terrible position, metaphorically position.
Yep, he does not know.
Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. I think we finished our last round all the way, and we're at the top of the order again. So I'm going to pull that up really quickly, and we'll get through these. Just to remind our players, and two things I want to remind our players and any audience that's listening, or will be. First, this is a very, very dire situation. I know you know that, but I'm not trying to kill you with this, but I'm also being fair to the world and to you. So that's something. Second, you may remember, and you have seen the direction that they're running. The bad guys, as you emerge, are basically immediately to the south. They're imminently upon you from the south and from all directions southward. They are bringing wild creatures with them, all of which belong to Simdaran. He owns the forest and all the creatures within, and so forth. Talad has mentioned to you, before he knew anything was happening, he was just giving you a tour, that about a 15-20 minute jog to the north is the Great River. You've crossed one before, Diamondback more than one, is the Great River, which is the boundary of Simdaran's domain. So I think y'all knew that. If not, pretend I didn't say that. So let's go ahead and get into it. And I think we're on
First.
Orivan.
If we made it all the way down to Neno, then we'll back up a Diamondback.
Okay.
I should have brought my thing. I had all the enemies too listed in there.
Great. We start with you, Diamondback. You are in the first of this order. You are in the edge of the cloud. I believe you have seen the Girolon exit the cave, and you are in the edge of the fog yourself. Maybe you didn't see him exit the cave.
I don't remember what I saw or not. I think the last thing that I saw was
Grab the dice from my desk.
there was a giant bad guy in this corridor with Belvari,
Okay.
and I cast Fog Cloud to keep it from hurting us, and then I climbed up and got into it myself.
Okay, that sounds right.
I'm keeping to the edge of the hallway and staying inside of the cloud. I'm going to take as much of my move as it takes for me to get out of this. Can I get all the way? I have a 30-foot walking speed.
Yes,
Can I get to the exit?
Yes, with that speed, without taking your dash action, just your movement, you can get out of the entrance plus another like five-ish feet.
When I get to the entrance, what do I see before me?
Before you leave it, you see only the shimmering surface
Right.
of this. So,
Right. So
and you can
I
see the
step
light from
away.
outside, but it's garbled.
I get into a sort of readiness stance, which doesn't mean anything in the rules or anything. I'm not taking action.
Yeah.
But I
Just so you know, before you say what you do, just so you know, you did mention I'm above him at the mouth of the cave. If he looked up, he would see me. At
If he can
top
see
of
through the
mouth of
fog.
cave, right?
Are you at the mouth? You're at the mouth, or did you stay in the? Were you still in the?
No, I flew forward because I wanted to be able to see them when they came out to try to get them out.
Okay. So
I stopped just before the exit of the cave.
okay. So then he would see you flying,
okay.
just overhead.
So when I emerge from the cloud, I see my buddy the Kenku above me.
Yeah.
But you see me, I do not see you. Because you're stealth.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely trying to be stealthy as I go.
I mean, you made a stealth check at the end of last session. I'm sorry to interrupt with all this technical stuff. I just want to point out, he sees me, I do not see him. But I need him to have every opportunity to say or do something, seeing me, because...
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Go ahead. All right.
Do I just as I'm walking real quick without making a check or anything, do I hear anything from through the entrance, or does it block sound as well as
No,
does it seem to block?
it's not blocking. It's not blocking anything. It's just you can't see. The light's kind of like shimmery and scrambled. But you do hear stuff outside, like Spolash's voice, and maybe some people. You hear the Giralon creature. Nothing sensible particularly.
If the Giralon left already, did the Giralon leave? I mean,
It did.
I would have felt it going past, moving the air and stuff, and its stomach footsteps, right?
While you were still in the fog, it left.
It left. Okay, so it's out there. Do I have knowledge of any other immediate threats?
The wolf spiders, you don't know if they're out there or not.
Okay.
And you saw me turn into Spolash.
Yeah, I did see you turn into.
Yeah, you know that.
Okay. Yeah, and you're out there, so I'm.
Well, you hear Spolash's voice out there. You don't know. Just to say, you don't know for sure which one you're hearing.
Right, but I've
He's
I've
in character,
understood
assuming.
that there's a strategy happening.
Yeah.
There's deception happening, and Yoshka is pulling a caper, and I'm in it. So if I see my Kenku friend, I'm gonna flying above me. I'm gonna say.
Josh,
Real quick before I step out the door, we must assist in Yoshika's deception. Go to him and do whatever he says. And I gestured to you. I don't say, hey, or what's up, or how are you doing? I just look up at you, Kenku friend, and I tell you what I think you should do. And then I'm out the door. I'm out through the magical rippling stuff. What do I see when I get on the other side?
8 bats.
That's right. You immediately see several Iron Bell soldiers, 2 wolf spiders, and those are like right at the entrance. Now, they took their reactions as opportunity attacks on Belvari, this lion that emerged. So they don't actually have another reaction to attack you yet.
Do I see Belvari?
You see Belvari. He has run another, I believe it's about 50 feet. He is standing next to Spolash. Spolash is pointing and giving orders. Belvari is near, not next to, but he's near Spolash. And he is currently being pummeled by this ape creature, this Girolon. And he's in bad shape.
Late turn, so that's good.
How many more feet of movement do I have? I have 5 more feet of movement.
About 5 feet, and that does not include dashing. If you could also dash.
Right. So I see what looks like Spolash.
Yeah.
Let him pass!
You don't see them yet. Your back is to them. You've run and you're facing out because you've gone to the entrance and are commanding the people.
How far is Spolash?
There's this
from
tunnel
me?
of sorry, hold on. There's this tunnel of y'all are in a kind of bell shape of wild thorns, and you've run to the exit and are commanding people.
Okay. I never said I was facing away from the tunnel. I was in my mind. Maybe I didn't say where I was facing, but I was trying to get to the top and then stand there so that they would and yell to the Iron Bell so they would come around me.
Okay, so you wanted to go to the end, turn around, or run backwards to the end, or whatever.
Yeah.
Facing the tunnel. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've seen Belvari come up, get hit as the lion, come up and do that. Okay.
And I wanted to say something last time, but it was like he came out so fast.
Yeah.
I didn't get to
You can talk
the reaction. If he doesn't, your call if I have time to say that meaningfully, but if he pops out not at a dash, I would say something quick like that.
So if I understand correctly, the mechanics of this are on your turn, you get a free action to do something like a small burst of something like that. But your turn is next, so you would do that after this.
What about as a reaction?
If you had said it as a reaction, like when somebody emerges, I'm going to say, let them pass.
What did I say last time?
You ready your action.
I think I was readying my reaction for them, actually.
What'd you say, Josh?
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we ready a free action at the end of our turn?
Excuse me. You can ready any action
Okay.
and use it. I think that's the rule, as I understand it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm searching for a spell that I think I have in my thing, but I don't remember the name. What's the other spell that's not
Okay.
that's not healing? Oh, it's healing word.
The economy of that, Jared, just to give you a sense of this, is even though it takes us like 15 minutes sometimes to do these rounds, all of this is happening like like everybody's turn is happening within a 6 or 7 second block. So it's like
Yeah.
even saying let him pass, which takes a second, is a second.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get close enough to Belvari to touch him in my?
Oh, you don't want to come over here.
You can get to him. You'll be standing with him. If you dash, you can get to Belvari.
Oh, okay. So that's no good. Within the space that I can move, is there anything I can jump behind or obscure myself from anybody?
There's only the rock that you're standing on and the thorn wall.
Okay. I take the dash action to go towards Spolash.
Okay.
Because I think that's my buddy Yoshka, and he's successfully carrying out some sort of plan, hopefully successfully, and it's probably our best shot at survival. So I'm going over there to get next to him.
Okay. If you can get all the way to him, you'll be about 10 feet from Belvari. And this really big creature.
Cramping my style over here.
That's all I can do.
Okay.
If I could have touched you, Belvari, I have one use of cure wounds.
Yeah, and then he would have punched you 4 times and headbutted you, and you would have died.
I know.
But also, whenever Diamondback casts Cure Wounds, it puts a skull tattoo on you.
Oh no, definitely don't want that.
Definitely true.
But they won't know until I die and the skin rots
No, that's
away.
fine. Yoshka, your turn.
A tattoo of a skull, not a skull. A tattoo on my skull.
Okay.
Maybe it's a tattoo of a skull on your skull.
Standing by us. Belvar. Yeah, I'm standing by Yoshka 10 feet from Belvar.
Yeah. You're standing
My
by.
fog cloud inside of the cave is still going and has 8 rounds left.
Yeah. Yoshka, this is your turn.
Okay. I'm just trying to sort out the logistics of. I want to prepare free actions and yeah.
Jared, I think that Yoshka would know this, but he's going to come at Spolash, or he's likely to, unless he gets some indication that he shouldn't.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
Although the Gearlon is more pressing, like at this very second. So
Sorry, back.
Where my move?
There are a bunch of dice.
Okay, some were told.
Okay, what you got, Yoshki?
Yoshki.
Okay, so just to clarify where I am,
Mm-hmm.
like, is it thickly wooded? It's lightly wooded?
Everything's
There were
thickly
some
wooded.
trees.
There's a canopy above you.
Are
I mean, depending what you mean by
the
thickly.
low wood.
The low.
Are there trees all around obscuring? Like, how thick is the wood?
I see what you're
about
saying. It's mature. There are trees every, on average, every 15, 20 feet. So it's not like dense, obscuring, but
I think I'm
there's not a lot
going
of scrub.
Yeah. And the thorn, the really tall thorn wall
Mm-hmm.
is about 30 feet. I will move about 30 feet back from the bell of it.
From the, it made a U shape, and at the end of your last turn, you had moved to the mouth. That was how far you could move, and so you were standing at the mouth of it. Toll, Neno, and Talat are past you. Belvari, and the entrance to the cave was there. Belvari exited and was able to get close to you, 10 feet away. Diamondback has now emerged and is standing next to you.
Okay. Well, I'm going to move and speak at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be kind of backing up to try to face my southern army that's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to say, "Let him pass! These captives bought their lives for what they did for me. Hold your beasts to press in on my word. The Orivan turned on me." Or wait, maybe I said that last time.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
you did not say that last time.
And that's enough speech to be an action,
I figured it would.
but you still can move, of course.
Yeah.
And
And
just to
then-
give our listening audience, the way I'm making that judgment is just about how long it took to say.
And if you will allow me to,
Mm-hmm.
as I say, "Let him pass," I want to hit my mantle of inspiration.
You have to remind me of that. I think I can pull it up too, but
Which is a bardic thing I can do as a bonus action.
Nice. Nothing scarier than a bard with a crowd.
Inspires them and gives them 5 temporary hit points and the ability to immediately move.
and did we decide
there.
that was magical or not? That's
Yeah.
the only thing I need to know about.
Yeah.
It is magical?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we can't use it right now.
Okay. Even if it's as a bonus action.
It's not because of the action economy, it's because you don't have components for that, or a way of casting without components. A way of using magic.
We already used it on us in this encounter.
Yeah, that's true. I was going to say, you've given him precedent that he can use this feature. But
Okay,
I think
then
last time you took a component for a similar.
okay,
action.
yes, that's what I had done last time. Yeah, I did. I was not familiar. I didn't remember this particular one, but yeah, any kind of
Special.
speech-related component in your pouch, I'll just randomly remove myself.
Okay.
You can't control what's getting consumed, but you can sort of borrow the magic because this is an innate ability that you have. And that's not something that's something sort of I'm treating as you can imagine in anime, the intensity of the situation has roused your fighting spirit, and that's why this is happening. But it's not like a mechanic that you should rely on.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So go for it. Yeah. So tell me what your bardic. Tell me what it does.
It inspires my party with 5 temporary hit points, and
It's I have it. As a bonus action, a creature other than yourself within 60 feet that can hear you gains an inspiration die, 1d6. Oh no, you're using Mantle of Inspiration. I'm sorry, not Bardic Inspiration. As a bonus action, spend 1 use of Bardic Inspiration to grant 5 temporary hit points to up to 5 creatures you can see within 60 feet. In this case, that'll be Toll, Diamondback, and
Did Toll feel it?
Toll,
That came from that guy.
Diamondback, and
What about Nino?
you, and also
Is Nino nearby?
she's further away, and also Belvari.
And hopefully none of the people who feel like they're part of the
I
party.
think you have to.
Each creature can immediately use its reaction to move up to its speed without provoking opportunity
Yeah, we'll
attacks.
move backwards 30 feet.
Which way is backwards?
Oh, out of the U shape.
Okay, so that means you'll be running towards Toll, who himself is half obscured. He's not trying to like stand out and be a target, but I think you probably would see him.
Yeah.
You know,
I won't
being
run straight towards him, but I'll run.
outward.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. Diamondback
I will also run and
in the same basic direction, northward.
I'm not gonna, my whole walking speed. I'm going to stay with Belvari.
Okay, sounds good. So you'll both go about 25, 30 feet. Well, Belvari will go 30 feet, and you'll go with him 20, 25 of those feet.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay. If you let this apply to you also, you can go with them.
I'm planning to back up more if I can. I'm not sure how we want to do the dynamic of seeing. Like, I'm trying to get back far enough so I can see over or around the wall more and see
The wall is really dense. You would only be able to see anybody who's either not in the wall, who's on this side of the wall, or a couple of feet, entangled only a couple of feet in to the
Okay.
thorns. You wouldn't be able to like see through it. Think of the myths or stories of Sleeping Beauty and the thick brush.
Yeah. I guess I would move like to the side and back then so I could see past it.
To see what?
To try to looking for the rest of the army coming because I'm guessing it's more than 3 guys.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, they are coming from the south, and you just heard army. But I'll tell you, actually, I have a thing here. Sorry, an illustration for myself. And I will tell you in a moment what it is you are seeing. This guy, is that it? Yeah, okay. You see to the south, now that you're somewhat unobscured, in order to see the bits that's unobscured, what you'll have done is you're facing kind of into the bell where Diamondback came out of. If you just back up a little bit, except instead of going northward to Talad, Toll, and Neno, where Belvari and Diamondback are going, you're going to actually go northwest. So you're going to kind of pull out a little bit from them, still facing backwards, in clearly visible range, but a couple hundred feet and coming this way. And they don't seem to be like running. They're arriving at the scene. You see,
Thanks. That's helpful.
yeah.
I see 2 more guys.
Yeah.
Larry, Joe.
You can readily see in the neighborhood, and there's trees, right? So it's not like just a clear open field. You can't tell who's obscured or not, but you can readily see a couple dozen guys going in and out, and maybe 2 to 3 times that of various animals. Hi, Babs.
Oh, I was just imagining what.
Oh,
Ah,
I looked over to see what animal you're seeing. Yeah. So, and those are, and Jared, that's in an arc of your, a 90-degree field of vision, and you can see motion kind of everywhere, but you're not counting like there's a guy. They're kind of moving in and out.
1, 2,
That's right.
3.
But
Counting with Spolash.
that's right. You would guess at it, if you just sort of Rain Manned it for a moment, that there might be anywhere from 30 to 100 or more Iron Bell stretched out. Maybe depending on how many are coming, and then 2 or 3 times that of animals.
Okay.
And one of them has 16 toothpicks.
And that's what you can see. That's not obscured by the thorns.
Trees and thorns.
Yeah. All right. So that was Yoshka's turn. It is now a giant wolf spider. So the 2 giant wolf spiders that had emerged from the cave previously, actually 3 giant wolf spiders that emerged from the cave, all had taken their attacks at Belvari. Thankfully, they did not land much on him. Those spiders. They are kind of dumb beasts and are obeying their prior command and are just skittering on the stone, waiting out at this sort of would-be entrance. There's not like a marked entrance, if you recall. It's just a dome of rock with some trees on it. But they're waiting there for anything to emerge. See, a couple of things you're not aware of happening, like inside the cave or whatever. Inkatink, it is your turn. You were at last note flying inside. You're just inside of the entrance, as it were, and also it's about 12, 15 feet tall here. You're, if I remember correctly, about 4.5 feet tall, 4 feet tall. So you're a good, 8 to 10 feet off the ground from your feet are.
Okay, yeah, so Inkatink is hopefully in a position near the mouth of the cave to be able to see Diamondback say, go to Spolash and do what he says, and then he sees him run, so he's gonna, rather than trying to go over to Spolash and do something different than what Diamondback did, he's gonna presume that this is what Spolash wants, so he's gonna fly over towards Diamondback.
So you're gonna leave. You're gonna get out of the cave. You're gonna go through the little shimmering portal.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave the cave.
Okay.
Yeah.
That takes about 5 feet of your motion. As you emerge, you see 3 giant wolf spiders and a handful of Iron Bell soldiers several feet below you, but only 3 or 4 feet below your feet, waiting at the mouth, startled to see this Kenku fly just out of their easy reach. That doesn't mean they couldn't hit you or something, but they're not. They've used their reaction to hit Belvari, but they see you.
Yeah,
You've emerged.
So he's flying past them.
Yeah.
Okay. And as he flies past them and he sees the open area outside of the cave, presumably he sees Diamondback.
You see Diamondback and Belvari bolting north. In the distance, you can just make out Toll. And you also see Spolash, who may or may not be the real Spolash or the Yoshka Spolash, going approximately the same direction, but instead of going north towards your friends and party, he's going northwest. Who knows why?
Maybe it would be helpful to clarify what he heard. Did he hear clearly what I said?
Probably should have.
What I yelled?
How much is 50 feet of distance in a?
He's standing
in hearing
right
the shouting?
next to the
Across
people
your
that
house, maybe?
We're standing outside, right?
Yeah, that's fair. You would have heard. You would have at least gotten the gist of Spolash saying, "Let them pass. They've earned blah blah blah." You even if you didn't pick up every nuance of what they were saying, which maybe you did, but you would have at least gotten the gist that Spolash has just said this.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think given that he travels with a bunch of other people that use magic and just watched Spolash like get pulled, you know, somebody trying to save his life, he knows that Spolash is not going to say that, so he's going to presume that this is some sort of magic.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think you saw him take Spolash's form. I think.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I think
okay,
so.
great.
Yeah. I've been going off of that.
Yeah,
assumption. Anyway, so Belvari is a lion right now.
He is not a lion. Belvari is Belvari,
okay.
and he is badly tattered.
Yeah, he looks pretty rough.
Then I've used how much of my movement so far?
5 feet.
5 feet. Okay. I fly over, grab Belvari, and keep flying, and that puts me 115 feet from where I started at the beginning of my turn.
Your flight speed is just your same movement speed, right?
The thing said that I had a flight speed of 60 when you fly.
Okay. Let's see. Give me 1 sec.
Nice.
Which gives you 120 feet of movement.
And
If you dash.
While I fly, I can carry up to 15 times my strength score, which is a good bit more than Belvari's weight. I probably couldn't do it with. It's questionable whether I could do it with Yoshka, and I really could not do it with Toll, but I can do it with the smallest people in the group, like Neto and Belvari, maybe Diamondback.
Okay. I'm looking for
So he's
your.
gonna fly over, grab Belvari, and say over his shoulder, he's probably gonna repeat the same thing. Say, "Sorry, darling, I've got to run. I'm so sorry."
Okay. And you're grabbing Belvari and lifting him. How high off the ground are you going?
I think we're only gonna fly 5 feet off the ground at this point. There's nobody that we're trying to fly over,
Uh-huh.
and if for some reason he falls out of my grip, I don't want to drop him a long way. So
And Bel-
for now, we're just flying over the ground.
And Belvari, Inkatink flies at you and sort of swoops a little to grab you. Do you resist? Do you willingly help? Do you grab onto him? What's happening?
I'll grab onto him.
Okay, so you're letting him do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
How far are we going? Sorry.
He's going to carry you another probably 30 feet.
Okay.
120, 50, yeah, about 30 feet.
How far am I from the, what's it called?
You are now about 30 feet from him, so you'll be more than that.
Oh yeah, want to be much further from him. I will let him go after Diamondback.
Sounds good.
If he goes after anybody.
All right. Fair enough. And that is Inkatink's turn. Okay.
So that uses my. I'm not a bard, so I have to use my standard action to dash. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Yep. Very good.
All right.
Yeah.
Belvari, having been swooped up and embracing that with your whole heart, it is your turn.
Okay.
And you are now approximately where Toll is.
Gotcha. So now what do I want to do?
Reaction fist bump? Don't.
That is not what Belvari would do. Belvari does not fist bump. I had all sorts of ideas of what I was going to do, but now I'm not anywhere close to where I was position-wise. Yeah, I think Belvari is going to use his tree stride pendant.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So to do that,
that's his action.
will you drop out of? You'll have to kind of let go of Inkatink
Gotcha.
and then run to a tree, right? You can't control
no.
where Inkatink's flying.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to walk into a tree. I'm just going to cast Tree Stride on myself.
I think what Tree Stride lets you do is use your movement and go
Yeah.
into a tree and
So
emerge.
you gain the ability to enter a tree and move from
Got
inside
it.
to another.
But you also know where trees of that kind are.
Yeah, and
Okay.
also it lasts for a minute. Its concentration lasts for a minute, and so
Got it.
I can,
Oh.
using an action.
So you're giving yourself this power,
Yeah.
as it were. Okay, that sounds good.
Nice. You could also cast it on me, and we can do it together.
No, we can't. You can only you
can
can't
choose.
do it together. You can only do one person.
You can do your
That is a very
movement
high-level
first,
spell.
action first,
Yeah.
or your bonus
So
action first,
that's
or
my
your free
action. What do I have left? I have movement and that's it. Yeah, so I guess I will run over to a tree and hop in. And then I would like to know every tree within
500 feet.
500 feet.
And it's
500 feet, bro.
it's every tree of the same kind.
Same kind.
Basically, they're sort of randomly scattered throughout in a no real discernible pattern, but you could pick a tree in any direction and
Okay,
You know.
I would like to find a spot that is kind of 120 feet. If Yoshka is the focus of the parabola,
okay.
I want to be from the base of the parabola, Yoshka, and then another 120 feet past Yoshka.
What's the parabola?
The U shape.
Okay. He's kind of emerged out of it now
Oh, so he's
because he
out
wanted
of
to
it.
see past
So
it.
just extend all of that.
Extend that as though it were
Yeah.
that kind of thorn bush.
Yeah,
So you're basically going to head due north,
gotcha.
with
And I
maybe
want-
some minor variation.
I want something to be in range, 120 foot range of where I emerge. Like if it's whatever the furthest thing out from the
Okay, yeah.
entrance is.
So that sounds great. That puts you in the neighborhood of about 40-ish feet past Neno and Talid, who are kind of near each other, hiding.
Gotcha.
You're past them, and you're 120 feet past Inkatink, who has now dropped you. You've run to the nearest tree a few feet.
Gotcha. Okay, and that's where I pop out. I do not pop out and say, "Hey, look at me!"
Sure.
I kind of am 5 feet behind that tree.
Yeah. If you emerge on the north side of the tree, because everything's to the south of you, you'll effectively be completely
Nice.
obscured.
They don't know where I just disappear.
They see you run into a tree, and to what you know is that you're instantly elsewhere. You know, a second later. Okay. Talid. Some other stuff happens that is not on camera for you guys. Talid, you are about 15 feet, hiding about 15 feet from Neno.
Okay.
What's up?
And you heard me yell.
You did.
But you're spell lash. So
But he's saying weird things.
He's
possibly.
saying,
These people are all.
These people saved
They
my
helped
life.
me out.
though you actually, just to say, you don't know these people.
Right.
True.
that's a fair
I
point.
might be on his
You
side.
did hang out with us though.
You
Kinda
did.
cool.
Though you also hung out with the Orivan and your uncle. I think you're in a very conflicted place that I can't tell you what to do, and I don't want to. You need to figure out what Talid does here.
You did listen to Toll.
It's true.
Who's told again? Oh yeah.
Toll
Patrick.
and Neno gave you fast run, expeditious
Yeah.
retreat, and they seem to be friendly towards you.
Okay. How far away is the river? Like I know it's like due north from where I am right now, but how far away is it? Like 100 feet or?
No, it'd take you a couple minutes to get there at least. It's maybe a half mile.
Okay. So
Which isn't too far. You could run
Yeah.
that, but it would just be.
Do I have my component pouch?
You
thing?
do have your component pouch.
Do I have anything like message in it?
You have message. We talked before. Yeah, I know you remember. We have message and some components for magic missile and just a few of those, and also I forgot what the other one is, but I'll remember in a minute. Yes, you do
Alright.
have message.
Fireball.
Yeah, that's right.
Hopefully. That would be
Apocalyptic
nice.
revenge. Water walk.
Water walk. That'll be useful.
That's what you used when you were carving those things in the
Okay.
underground bits. You would stand on the water and do your carvings, and then when you're done, you could walk back. So you have a pouch of some of those.
Okay, I'm going to I'm gonna message Toll. Can I see Toll?
You can see Toll.
What about Nano? Can I see
You
her?
saw where she hid, so you do.
Okay.
You can see her.
So I'm going to message Toll and Nano, and I guess one of their friends, which are any of them that I can see. Can I see any of them?
I think you can just message one person.
Yeah.
I don't. Oh,
Casting a spell, right?
okay. Nano is hiding, but Toll is actively going towards there, right?
He's like staying kind of covered, but he is moving towards his friends. Belvari and Inkatink are at Toll. Belvari has just disappeared into a tree.
Okay. I'm going to.
And message is not concentration.
Message is not concentration. It's just telling someone.
It's just
something.
instant action.
Something.
It's your action.
I'm going to. Can I like run over to Neno's Neno's hiding spot and message Toll?
Yeah. You'd use your
Okay.
movement to go to her. You could talk to her briefly as a like free action or bonus action because you can use that up that way.
Yeah.
And then you can message as your action.
Okay. I'm going to. Yeah, I'm gonna run up to Neno and then message Toll. I'm just gonna tell them both the same thing. Basically, I know a way to get us past the river. They, what were they called? Spolash doesn't have any power there. We'll be safe for at least for a while. And the other people, they can catch up. And I'm gonna tell Neno that and then message Toll that.
Alright.
So hopefully they'll listen or they'll die.
Yeah. Toll, you have an opportunity to respond to that inner voice.
Yeah.
Neno does too, but that's on her turn, I guess.
So everybody is outside, right? And do I see 2 Spolashes?
You only see one Spolash.
But both of them are outside of the cave.
The other Spolish got sucked into the floor, and we don't know where he went.
But you don't know that they don't know that where he went or that he was sucked in. All you know is Spolash emerged from the cave and is now helping you and claiming that you helped him, that your party helped him against the
So we've got
Orivan.
everyone minus Yoshka, and that's what Toll probably thinks. But Toll's also a smart fella. He'll say in response,
Sorry,
I'll join you, but
I was just going to say, and don't forget, Inkatink has just gotten to your location. So you could also talk to him if you wanted to. I guess that would be on your turn. So for right now, you can just respond.
okay. I'll say, I'll join you, but I need to make sure everybody else has made it out safe.
And I don't think I can reply to
Yeah,
that.
that's
so.
the exchange. Okay,
Text you.
the Girlon is just absolutely furious. Not at you escaping Belvari. That's the kind of guy he is. And the nearest thing that he knows he is allowed to rip in half is Diamondback. Diamondback, you are now at this point. How far ahead of him are you?
Like 30 feet.
Yeah, you're about 30 feet ahead of him. Hold on, give me a second. I'm going to look at this.
He has 6 arms, but only 1 leg. He can't get
That's
there.
right. Give me a second because I need to understand where his handler is in the order.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's not his turn yet, so he's just doing random junk out here. Okay, he is going to run at Belvari, at Diamondback. Diamondback, this Giralon, who you have a sneaking suspicion personally dislikes you. Here it is.
He really personally disliked me for a couple rounds.
He kind of liked you.
So
Just play it cool and stick to banana questions.
Every NPC
That's so
exists in the
racist.
psyche of Sir Robert.
That's right. And wait,
I'm ready. Make it quick.
sorry, I had a dream last night. I was just remembering when you said that, but I can't remember. It's also not relevant to this, I don't think. But it was an escape thing. So anyway, this guy runs at you. It has a 40-foot speed and a 40-foot climb speed. Oh, that's interesting. Makes
Wow.
sense. Lots of arms.
He can climb as fast as he can walk.
Yeah. Okay. He's going to run at you, and as a bonus action, can also move up to its speed towards a hostile creature it can smell. Okay. Actually, you know what? First, he's going to do a wisdom check, and I'm going to let randomly pick. He actually has this thing called Keen Smell. I'm just reading his stat sheet here, which gives him a perception check based on scent that has advantage. I'm going to let him check to see if he can tell that Spolash isn't Yoshka. If he can tell, I'm just going to roll, and I'm not going to pick.
Yoshka isn't Spolash.
Sorry, what? Oh, sorry. Yes, if he can tell that Spolash isn't Spolash, but is Yoshka instead.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do his perception. Okay. And I'm going to give him a... All right, that'll work. And he's doing it with advantage. Okay. Yoshka, he can tell that you are not Spolash. You smell to him not like the Iron Bell. Now I'm going to roll randomly. Will you hand me a four-sided die?
Foresight.
So I'm going to do odds and evens.
There it is.
Odds
and evens.
is...
Fate decide.
That's right. Odds is going to be Yoshka. Evens is going to be Diamondback. It's a 4. Evens, Diamondback.
I mean,
do it.
sorry, Diamondback, but
Yeah.
it's probably better for the party that you take one for the team.
So he runs at... I don't know what that means.
Well, it might break the illusion for everybody else.
Yeah, fair enough.
Take 6 for the team.
Yeah.
And I'm completely
It's
apolitically
just
going to mention that
5.
everybody has to take a beating now and then. Yeah, he's going to run at you, Diamondback. The Giralon is going to attack you. He is just in a rage, absolutely blind with fury, not in a disadvantaging way. And he's going to do a melee weapon attack with his claws. Does a 10 hit you?
10 does not hit.
What are you doing, Roland?
I rolled a lot of high ones, didn't I?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did. And you had one followed by a 20.
That's right. Does an 11 hit you?
An 11 does not hit me.
Okay.
Diamondback is ducking and moving.
That's right.
But you got to keep ducking and moving. For
I think
a few more-
juking and jiving is what he might be doing. Does a 6 hit you?
6 does not hit.
I just rolled a 2 here.
He's just going to keep rolling low, and then the last one does a 37 hit you.
And a 9.
Wow,
Nine
I
doesn't
could have
hit.
used some of that.
He has +4 to hit. And I've rolled all single digit stuff here.
Not kind of rolling.
How many attacks does this thing get?
5. 1 for each fist and 1 bite. And now for the bite attack.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't want to get caught in that storm.
Does a 9 hit you? It does not. Wow.
So it's-
This guy,
We needed a turn.
that was intense.
You
I
should
was-
light your
Oh, wait.
fire back on fire, Diamondback.
This guy runs at you,
Fire
Diamondback,
on fire.
and with all of his fists is just on the ground, and you are like an uncharmed
Ladder.
snake, just slipping through. And based on those rolls that were surprisingly bad, I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to bite you, but you bit him back. Okay, well, I am totally stunned that you are not dead, Diamondback. Oh
That's
my
good
gosh.
to hear.
Okay, that was the Giralon. You see, in the about 3/4 of the way out of that bell shape, you see a. So it's not at the mouth of the bell. It's a little bit in from that, 10 feet in, say 15 feet. You see a small black shape, a square, a rectangle, emerge and sort of flip and spin a couple of times, and out of it steps Spolash's aide de camp with Spolash. He seems to
It's a
be.
good time to leave.
He seems to be doing okay.
Like totally, like all the way back.
You can't tell, but it's been a couple of turns, and whatever happened on the other side of this thing happened. He's at least standing up and not paralyzed.
Can you breathe? Because he couldn't breathe when he went down.
He's not near enough that you could tell that kind of thing. So, you're all having run. Let's see, a couple of people. There is Diamondback. You will be interested to note that having emerged from the cave is a giant mongoose. That mongoose sees you again as the closest creature, and it sprints towards you with its full power, perhaps sensing your snake-like nature.
I have better
I love it.
luck.
What is its motion here? Let me look. Okay, it cannot make it all the way to you. It makes it about about halfway to where you are from the exit of the shimmering sort of hidden portal. It makes it about halfway to you, to about where the Gurulon previously was. Okay, that is its turn, and it kind of flows and undulates towards you. Toll, it is now your turn. Inkatink has now arrived at you, and you've heard this message from a voice you recognize as Talad's voice, saying, "Let's do it."
Right, and I saw Spolash come out of the thing too, right?
You did. You
Alright, so
also...
I'm gonna cast... Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, you also saw... He's behaving curiously, but you also saw Diamondback and Belvari run past. You saw Diamondback run to him, and Belvari run right near him, and then run past him and not interact with him, and nor him with them. I'm only saying that not because I'm trying to sway your interpretation, but just to give you a full picture of what you watched happen in the past few seconds.
Yeah, Toll has a suspicion, but he's gonna confirm it, and cast message on the Spolash that is trying to help us get away.
Okay, not the newly arrived one.
Right. And I'll say Diamondback. Is that a you?
You see Diamondback. Do you mean Yoshka?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Yoshka. Yeah.
Okay, Yoshka, you have an opportunity to respond. If you respond to this voice, this sort of internal voice that you relate to Toll, he will hear it in your voice, not Spolash's, because it's a internal thing.
And it's also, no one else will hear it.
Yep,
Yeah, it's
better
telepath.
run.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Yep, better run.
Toll, you hear that in Yoshka's familiar persona in your head.
Cool. I'll. How do I want to phrase this? He's closer to me than the real Spolash, right?
Yes, he's a little bit southwest of you, kind of southwest of you, and the real Spolash is directly south of you, an extra about 40, 50 feet.
Okay, and then I'll shout, the nearest Spolash is Yoshka.
You're just shouting that out.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I don't think anybody really knows for sure that that's him. Well,
Yeah.
except for Inkatink.
Yeah. Neno now knows, or Neno and Talad heard you, so that's good.
That's
Inkatink turns to it and goes, Oh, did Diamondback die?
Flying up in the air.
And Diamondback heard too, but he also
I'm pretty
was.
close to full.
Blown up in spot.
So do you want to do anything else? Sorry, you cast message. That was your action. Are you going to move?
Yeah, is Neno still on the ground?
She is. With your movement, you could run to her. She is hunched down. You know, she's kind of hiding like in a bush or something. And Talid is hiding with her now.
Yeah, I'll go to them. I will offer to carry Neno on my shoulders. By the look of it, I mean Orivan's well into his teens. He can
Talid, yeah.
good pace, right?
Yeah, Talid is around, I think it was 17, 18, or I don't remember exactly. He's around the same age as Belvari.
Yeah, I'll move over there. I will offer to pick up Neno unless that's an action.
No,
In which case,
if she's game for it, y'all can together sort of agree to do what y'all are doing. Is that, Neno, do you object to him scooping you up? Total, I mean?
No, I don't think she would.
Okay.
cool. And then I will use the rest of my movement going. Did Orivan specify a direction, or did Talid specify a direction?
He was running north. He didn't in his message specify a direction, I don't think. Did you?
I said to the river.
To the
up
river.
North.
Okay.
You know.
So yes.
Okay, I'll continue north ahead of him for now.
Okay. And that sounds good. It is not so. Wow, this has been fatality free so far. I'm really impressed. Let's see, Orivan, Iron Bell soldiers, seeing Spolash emerge, having seen Spolash move away. One of the Iron Bell soldiers sprints towards the new Spolash and does something you don't know. You don't. You're not privy to. Spolash pulls out some components and casts magic missile at the other Spolash. That is.
There's not room in this town for the two of us, is
That's
there?
right. So he's going to cast magic missile. And remind me, Jared, what is the spell you're using to change your identity here?
It's a concentration spell. It's alter self.
Alter self, okay. And it is concentration. Alright. So you take, that was nice, 1 damage for that one, 1 damage for that one, and 3 damage for that one. So you take 4 damage, and you have a 50-50 chance on each of those to lose concentration. So if you want to roll a d20 and on a... It's not
I
quite
lost
50-50.
concentration.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what everybody who can see sees. These missiles, which roll was it? Do you know?
The first one.
Okay. The missiles into Spolash, and he gets kind of thrown back a little bit by them. And what they see is the visage, the sort of appearance of Spolash kind of remain for a moment as Yoshka is thrown 6 inches, 8 inches, a foot back, and then that appearance just kind of sublimates into a thin black mist. And what remains is Yoshka. Having taken a little damage, but not a whole amount. Not a whole lot. Yep. Neno, that's you.
Okay.
Toll has just scooped you up.
Right. I am going to put in one of my hands Flame Blade, and I'm going to...
Sorry, do you mean the components for it, or do you have a flame blade?
I have the components for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm too far away for that, so I am going to...
Flame Blade's gonna take your action, just so you know, and it's melee only.
I'm just holding it.
Yeah,
I haven't
But if you
haven't
do,
turned it into a thing. I just put them in my hands.
You just have the components.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm going to cast Firebolt in the direction of Real Spolash.
okay. Sounds good. And I'm just looking up for the.
And I also still have prepped from last game a Hellish Rebuke. So the
Okay.
first time somebody tries to attack at me,
Is that the first time you take damage? I think
I'm
it
not
is.
sure how Hellish
Okay.
Rebuke
I'll
works.
look it up. But
Okay.
It's a reaction when you take damage.
reaction when you take damage? Okay.
Okay.
And just to let you know, our precedent from Gulb, who used Hellish Rebuke, or Sleen, I think, whichever, is that that rebuke does consume some random component from your pouch, which I'll manage. You hurl a mote of fire at a creature or object within range, 120 feet, so that's within range. Make a ranged spell attack against the target. On a hit, the target takes 1d10 fire damage. A flammable object hit ignites if it isn't being worn or carried. Spell's damage increases by 1d10. Okay, some stuff that doesn't matter. Okay, go for it. Why don't you make a ranged, what was it? Spell attack?
Ranged spell attack.
That's for the damage.
I'm rolling 1d10?
No.
No,
I'm rolling a...
That's if you do
D20.
damage, that's the d10.
Okay.
So the 20-sided is...
Got a 16.
Plus her,
Nice.
whatever
Plus
her
whatever mine is that I can't see.
spell casting.
I will tell you that. 1 sec.
Thanks.
All right. Neno. Spellcasting. Sorry, I had to pull it up. Oh, there it is. Spell attack. That's what we're looking for. +4. Wow.
Okay, so 20.
Okay. That does hit. Roll the d10 for damage.
7.
7 damage. Okay. So Spolash has had more heat on him lately than he would like. Your mote of fire just flies straight towards Spolash. I'm going to roll to see locational damage because I'm interested in that. And a 5. You hit him sort of soundly in the thigh with it, which burns but doesn't do. It's not like in his face or something. But you hit him for a good solid 7 damage. Okay. Good.
That's great.
Yeah. And
Loves to see that.
yeah. Okay. That was Neno. A couple other things that y'all can't see. Y'all aren't watching. And that is it. Let's take our 10-minute break here. We just finished that round, and we're going to actually, because of how far you are away, we're going to actually exit initiative. These guys are going to be, when we get back, it'll be, they're far enough that none of them can, well, actually, they could do magic attacks. They're chasing you right now.
There's somebody right up against Diamondback.
Yeah, so never mind. We'll stay in initiative. I thought we were out of it, but we were still in it. Okay. When we get back, it's going to go really quickly now because some of the people are not involved anymore. It's a much smaller group that are involved in this action at this moment. We'll take our 10-minute break. Back in a flash.
Thanks.
Alright.
Yeah.
So which of us still have
All the
expeditious
administrative
retreat?
stuff.
I've just got to say, when you were talking as your D&D character, you sounded just like Ephraim when he was talking as his.
Imagine
Just
that.
like exactly.
That's cool.
Well, almost exactly.
The tree doesn't grow far from the acorn.
Some might even say it emerges from within.
Oh, I know.
Unfortunately, I don't have any very long-range spells. This magic missile's 120. I don't want to get hit by that.
What'd you say?
I want to walk
Yeah.
out of the tree and hit him with a spell, but I
Oh
can't.
man, you're pretty much the safest. You can go through a tree each time, right?
Yeah,
Up to how much? 120 feet?
500.
500 feet.
Yeah,
It has
Go
to be the
tree
same
hopping.
kind of tree.
It's like GIS mode.
yeah. But you can only do the leap once per turn. But it doesn't take an action now, so I can walk into a tree and walk out, and then next turn I can hit him with a spell then. Then I can hit him with a spell and walk back in, but that whole time that I'm standing outside the tree, I guess I could get behind the tree. Walk out of the tree, hit him with a spell, duck behind the tree,
Yeah.
duck out, hit him with a spell, walk into the tree.
You can also enter and emerge from the same tree. Not that you would necessarily want to, but it means you can effectively run through a tree.
Yeah.
I was having dinner here like 2 hours ago, and it looked nothing like this. 100% less convenient.
This isn't this computer.
Ooh, you want to have using on the entire stuff. I really want to have one of those.
So shield exists.
I really want to have one of those, but they look like cinnamon, and I
And
don't
I
like
think
cinnamon.
we've got the stuff for it in the
They actually do look like cinnamon.
party package.
What do you want?
From the party package.
Yeah.
I don't know. So let me check if the firebolt I used was from the party patch or not. I thought it was from mine, but it might not have
She
been.
asked for a specific
I didn't know
kind,
this
and
was
I've kind of also does the same thing. Well, but thanks.
Okay, the firebolt was from Nana, so
What
I'll
happened?
do that now. One second, I'm just decrementing. And now I have no more firebolts. Okay. Oh no, I have a 10 more. Never mind.
Hey, how'd your road trip go?
It was great.
I didn't realize it was a road trip. You were going on a road trip until you left, but that's fun. That was like one of your young time things.
I try to take them every. I try to do at least one a year. I end up actually doing 2 a year, probably. Sometimes only for like 3 or 4 days, but usually I think I've averaged about 2 to 3 weeks, which is really nice. This time I took Abby, Jacob, and Simon. We went to the Ark Encounter,
Oh yeah, cool.
and then the Creation Museum, Kentucky. Sorry, I just went out of sight there. Kentucky, Ohio, Illinois, over to the Mississippi River, just so that they can.
Did you see
You
the
know.
confluence of the Ohio? I guess it's not a confluence, is it? Whatever it's called when one
That's
river.
Confluence.
I think confluence is when two come together and a third leaves.
Oh. So the Ohio pours into the Mississippi, making it
Yeah.
much broader, and that's where we went.
Yeah. So I think one confluence I know is in Pittsburgh. The Monongahela and the something form the Ohio.
Got it.
Monongahela and I don't remember.
So yeah, we went to that spot, which is nice. First couple of days was going to the Creation Museum, going to the Ark Encounter, and then, which was, by the way, the Ark Encounter, they nailed it. Because it's not, they call it Encounter instead of Museum. I mean, it's got some museum-y, like, exhibits and stuff. That's not the, like, essential focus. At least it seems to me, to be something like intending to be evocative of the time and experience of that event.
Cool.
Yeah. And which is like, I relate, I appreciate that for anything. And also it seems to me that in very many ways, notwithstanding certain changes that happened, that Noah was in very many ways the most blessed person in history, it seems to me. After that strange event, he's in the world with essentially no predatory creatures and no other humans,
Yeah.
no bandits, no whatever. That's amazing. Like that's,
Got
his
his
sons
sons
that
were pointing and laughing at him when he.
Yeah, but that's really not like Marauder level
Yeah.
of interactions. I would say.
Yeah.
Anyway, that said, it's a cool concept. that whole story is really interesting in a lot of strange ways. Because whatever. It's also interestingly the earliest event that I know of something being referred to as a baptism. The world was baptized, which is cleansed of its evil, which is super
That's
interesting.
interesting. I
Yeah.
never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
And it is that's what God did. He was cleansing it of all the bad people and
Mm-hmm.
animals. Do animals have sin? Because it's like nature, but they don't really. Well, you know.
It's unclear from the description. They don't explicitly. It doesn't explicitly say so, but they clearly are affected by the sin of people in ways that seem to have a corrupting influence on their behaviors. According to the descriptions. Like, that's kind of the method or message of it.
Do you think Roscoe's evil now?
No.
Just from being surrounded by us?
No. I think it's probably closer to something like sick.
Okay.
So apparently the confluence of the Allegheny and the Monongahela is a unique confluence. So confluence is joining of two rivers.
Flow together, confluence. That makes
Yeah.
sense. But yeah, that's what we saw. And then after that, I rented an Airbnb for 3 days, 4 nights, and we just kind of holed up in a mountain house in the Smoky Mountains. So it's good. It was Abby's first road trip, so I wanted to kind of.
Do more than usual.
Well, I wanted to cater it to her.
Expectations.
To forge a specific kind of memory for her, to encourage her.
My first road
to
trip
like
was
them.
the best, and it was amazing, and it was the best.
Yeah, and I want to go on more.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Anyway, so it's good.
Cool.
What'd y'all do?
Just with my mom and Freya's folks came through.
Cool.
So you wanted her to have really good memories, unlike the time that we had like sandwiches and grapes and everything cold for dinner, because there wasn't going to be anything to eat, and then we had anything to warm up, and then we have had a microwave in the hotel, and like a fridge. Remember when we stayed at that Red Roof?
Yeah, that was fun.
And we ate the like sandwiches and stuff for like the entire.
Does that mean I
It was
can
really
do it?
fun, but
Is it
I
is
remember
it
being-
different
I'm noticing now that the
Yes, it
flame
was
blade
new.
has
Oh.
a D by it.
Yeah.
Does that mean I don't have the ability to do it?
Second best.
Well, it just means it would be half as effective.
Okay. Darn, because it was super effective. I like that.
So I don't know how Starfall would do that. Either last for half as long or do half as much damage or something.
What is it?
Flame blade. I also have lost where those components are.
Oh, computer. Yeah, sorry. It is the way I do that is I kind of just look at it and say, what makes this half as strong? And if it might be damage, or it might be for some spells, it might be how long it lasts. Or,
Yeah. So you should probably ask him because it could be either one, I guess, for us.
Okay. Yeah, I also am now second guessing whether I can do it because I can't find the other piece that I thought I had. Flame blade, spiny backed elk, and
It seems like right now we're in running away mode.
yeah.
A spell like Flame Blade.
Yeah.
I was expecting to get pounced. So
Yeah, I mean, you still could get pounced on.
okay.
Okay. Elliot? You still around? No?
Jacob?
Yeah, I was just looking for Jacob. I was going to have him go get him. Jacob, are you here? Nope. All right. Josh should be back any second.
Okay, Jared, can I pull from the party pouch the prickly branch lark? Can you search Flame Blade and see? I think there are 3 different components.
There's a spiny back elk
Okay.
and a prickly branch lark. There's only 2 of them.
Okay, so let me see where I found the 3rd one. It must have been in Nanos.
Hey, Jacob. Is that Jacob?
That's Elliot.
It looks like there's one. Oh, there's a
You go get
spiny
Jacob.
back elk in the shared component pouch. Oh, that's what you just read. Never mind.
And now I can't find it in Nanos, so I must have found the same thing twice and thought that I had 3 different. So I can't even crush those components. I'm going to create a who knows what when I smush 2 of the 3 things I need. No,
You'll
just-
create a flame spoon.
That's right.
Most of the damage comes from the flame though, so it does the same amount of damage.
Okay.
But it's really
That's what I
bad
like
for
to see.
ice cream.
But good for scooping it.
Yeah, getting the ice cream out. It's real solid. Or if it's bubblegum ice cream, you just stick that spoon in there and let it go.
Oh, man.
Right all the way up, and it's constant. It's like a hot air balloon. It's constantly feeding the hot air into the.
I was just trying to get rid of the bubblegum ice cream.
Okay.
That's what I heard. It was melting all over.
Where's Josh?
Why don't we get started?
I also want to get close enough to you to cure wounds, because you're alive, but not great.
I'm going to roll something for Inkatink. I was having him roll
Yes.
on a
Yeah.
perception check.
You could take a long
Perceiving
rest right now.
where
Yeah.
Josh is.
He's just not back yet.
So you're perceiving where he is?
Oh, no. He is trying to perceive something he does not know.
I can text
But yes,
him.
I understand.
I sent him a text, but it wouldn't hurt to send him some more. He's probably tucking his skin in
Yeah.
to bed.
You should definitely interrupt that.
Let's see what I roll. A 6. Okay, he does not get it.
I also want to try inflict wounds. A melee spell attack. Level 3 that does 3d10.
It's
That
pretty
sounds
hard.
fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump back in as soon as Jacob's back. I'm not going to do this as a separate episode because we've only got half an hour left, so I'll just let him be the same.
Are you
You're good.
recording it?
It is still recording, yeah. And still streaming.
About the stuff for the DVD extras. I don't think it is streaming. Or LT was
Okay.
saying it was not streaming.
It's trying to, at least. Okay. Yeah, for the
Outtakes is going to be rich.
bonus content for the web.
Mm-hmm.
You'll
If we
hear
had a
about my road
backup
trip.
just conference call thing, or it seems like even if we had someone besides you do the streaming, like
Yeah.
separate the administrative stuff, so it's
I'm game for that. That'd take some burden off.
Yeah, that was our original arrangement for season 2,
Yeah.
where I was the DM and Soror was doing the stream. And
Season
then when Soror became the DM, we never switched the stream stuff to somebody else.
Yeah, it didn't even occur to me. For seasons 1 and 2, I did the streaming, but I forgot that it was in part to distribute that. I just was thinking I'm doing the streaming. I'd be happy for somebody else to do something. But okay, well let's go into it, and it's not Inkatink's turn for a little while, so we'll catch him up on whatever he needs to be caught up on. Diamondback. It is your turn. The Girolon somehow just...
patty cakes with Diamondback.
That's right. He really tore into Belvari twice. Once as a lion and once as a Belvari. And
I think it was twice. Or was it inside? Yeah.
I can't quite remember. And then Diamondback, he ran up to you and just didn't land.
Whiff.
Yeah, it whiffed hard 5 times.
Swish.
So, what do you do? Diamondback, you tell me.
So, I have a couple of questions about what I see immediately around me.
Mm-hmm.
I've just witnessed the apparent Spolash turn back, get hit with magic missile from the reappeared real Spolash and turn back into Yoshka. Can I see the glint of metal on Spolash's artificial hand?
Let me see here. Sorry, I heard your question, but I was
Excellent question.
off getting a pen.
What happens if multiple people do heat metal? Does it get twice as hot?
It just melts.
Yes.
Why is that guy saying ow twice?
Ow, 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 ow.
So
Every 6 seconds.
the Spolash, the real Spolash, is about 60, 70 feet from you south. I'm going to roll to see if you can see. We just got started. I'll wait for Josh too. Hey Josh, we just got started. Diamondback's taking his turn. I'm going to roll to see if you can see it, Matt, because you're far away and he's still got that cloak. So I don't know. Let me see. We're going to do.
I also need to know whether it's 60 feet or 70 feet, because that's an important difference.
Okay, fair enough. Let's first. What I'm going to do is figure out if you could see it at all. The way I want to do that is,
I can make a perception check.
yeah. What I want to have you do is make a DC. I just rolled for it. I'm averaging the 2 rolls I did. I want to have you make a DC 18 perception check.
Oh boy.
Do you have any thing that'll help you?
Okay, so Diamondback got a 4 on that, so I cannot see the glint of metal on Spolash's hand.
Yeah, you cannot.
Okay, great. How close to me is Yoshka?
So Yoshka is only about 30 feet from you, southwest, whereas Spolash was due south.
How? Okay, awesome.
But also, you see Spolash, and you probably could guess where his arm is.
I think you have to be
You
able to
have to
see
be
the
able to
metal.
see the metal.
For the spell.
You can't just be like, heat's metal there if it is there.
Yeah. But once the spell lands, it is effective even if he goes to, like, heaven.